Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. I have back again my man, Mitch Laing. And guess what? He's back with a new project that's going to be coming out around about Halloween, and it's called Sea of Madness. Mitch, welcome back to the Horror Room, brother.
It's good to be back, man. I really enjoyed our last conversation, and I was super excited to do it again.
Yes, man. Yes, man. You were on my show in the beginning, man. Like when I first fucking started, man. And
Really
yes, man. It was
awesome.
like right in the beginning. You were one of my first interviews, and
Ground floor, baby.
I know, man. I know. All right, man. So tell us about Sea of Madness, man. Tell us
Oh
about it.
man, dude. We just got back from 6 days of principal photography. We shot 5 days on the historic antique USS Kidd down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the staff there was so great and amazing. Captain Tim, our handler, who we had, he was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, they set us up to be scared of Mr. Tim in the beginning, because they have to do like a big safety meeting with everybody before you get on the boat for the first time. So the main guy gets up there and goes, "All right, everybody, Mr. Tim is going to be your handler for the situation. Anything that y'all need to do, if y'all need to move anything, if y'all need to take something down, anything that has to be done, it goes through Mr. Tim. You ask him. And let me go ahead and tell you, anything you ask is probably going to be no." So we're like, shit. This so we're like, this guy's just gonna be this hard roughneck, and then like literally everything we asked, there was nothing that Tim said no to. Not one thing.
So all right, so how did you get permission to get on this boat? I mean,
Well, our producer Adam Bass, me and him went on a number of location scouting trips in the beginning. Well, I guess as soon as Bogman got released and we did our big, premiere in our hometown, pretty much the next weekend after that, we
by the
started.
way, but by the way, shout out to Bog, man. It was a fun movie, man. Check that
Oh,
out on
thank you.
Tubi right now. Yes.
Yeah, man. It's been really awesome seeing people's reaction to Bogman and like them warming up to it and like seeing it for what it is. Like it's just a fun creature film. We don't
Yes, it is.
it doesn't take itself seriously, and it allows you to ride along for the good time.
It's a good B movie time, man. It really is. It's a good old fashioned B movie good time.
And me and my partner Daniel Stark, who is pretty much the director of photography on all of our films, me and him, we always had like this saying or this like mantra, like every movie that we do, we just need it to be just a few steps higher or better than the one previous. That's
Yes.
like you learn a little bit, and you fix those problems and you do something differently, and you just hope that the next thing that you do is just a step or two better than what you did. But
So,
with
so I'm,
that
I'm
being
gonna ask you a
said,
question that. So I'm gonna ask you a question in regards to that. It's a two-part question. So in between from Bogman to Sea of Madness, first question: what was one thing that you learned that you were like, you know what, that was a home run. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna carry that over to Sea of Madness. And what was one thing that you were like, you know what, that fucking sucked. I didn't fucking like that. I'm not going to carry that over to Sea of Madness.
well, ultra prep, because like the big difference between Bogman and Sea of Madness was with Bogman, we had weekends. So like we could film Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to prep and get ready for the next 3 days of shoot. And we had 2 months of that. So I mean, it was very easily spread out. With Sea of Madness, this was the first time that I was doing a complete filming from top to bottom in consecutive days, like where you don't have prep time, you just have the 6 days and whatever you can get in that 6 days. So I one thing I learned differently is like prep, and that's what we did.
So going back to what you were saying on the ship. So yeah, 6 days on the ship.
We had 5 days on the USS Kidd, and then we spent another day on a party barge in past Christian, Mississippi.
Okay. So how was it different filming on the ship than a normal setting like Bogman?
Well, one big noticeable difference was we couldn't drink.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
In Bogman, we pretty much were always drinking Boggy Ball beers, kind of like this one right here.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Little plug for Bogman, but yeah, we Bogman was very much just like summer camp. We were partying, like like we were serious and we were getting stuff done, but like when we were making Bogman, we didn't really expect anyone to see it. Or, like we didn't know that anyone would see it. To us, this was just going to be another movie that we made that sat on our shelf that we showed people when they came over. And with Sea of Madness, we knew we had guaranteed mainstream distribution. So everyone was going to be able to see it. So we had to be able to deliver, which is a whole new set of pressure.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Now, do you use from Bogman to Sea of Magnets? Do you use pretty much the same team, or did you bring in some new eyes onto this project?
Well, we kept a lot of the same cats. Everyone that was involved in Bogman that could be available for the full 6 days of shooting was more than welcome to come back, and they did come back. But we did bring in a number of new cats on this, and those new cats were the thing that made the difference. I I will say this about Sea of Madness in terms of whenever I talked about how as long as just a few steps better than Bogman, we're okay. Sea of Madness was one of those things that we looked back behind us and realized we went up 2 flights of stairs and didn't realize we had gotten that far. The new crewmen with their equipment, they had all the primo cameras, the best lights. We had new sound guys on. We actually had a sound mixer on set with a real boom and everything, and we
Yeah.
didn't have that in Bogman. We just had cell phones in the pockets.
Yeah.
And so it was like it was a 40-person crew. Like it was as legit and fully staffed as a film set could be. Like there were whole new members of crews with whole different names of roles that I didn't even know about. I'm like, oh, that's what that's called. Cool. I didn't realize that. I'm glad you know that. But so it was a massive crew, and we had all the toys, and like we started looking at the one thing that really helped morale because on this boat we only had 5 days on the USS Kidd. So we were logging in 18-hour work days, easy, every
Holy shit.
yeah, every single day. Like we would get on the boat at 3:30 p.m. whenever the museum closed, and we would be on that boat until 9 a.m. the next morning.
Jeez.
And so to help morale, we would, we had a big war room that if you look at some of the pictures on the Facebook page, it was this really awesome big conference room, and they had 4 96-inch screens that they had like shoved together to make one screen. So we started watching all the dailies on that big screen in the war room where everybody could see. And none of us were prepared on like the quality of the footage and then the caliber of all the acting that was in the shots. Like it felt like we were watching a like Lionsgate studio film, and like we were like kind of blown away, looking like, how is this happening? Like this is easily looking like a $5 million movie, easy. And we spent 1/10 of that and had 1/10 of the time to do it.
Isn't it incredible if you are a excellent filmmaker, if you're given the budget, even if you're not given the budget, you're able to put out a good product. But if you're actually given a great budget, you can make a masterpiece.
Well, what I learned in this is as long as you have all of the toys that the big budget has, you can still make a masterpiece. And I mean, I'm not gonna be as egotistical to call, Sea of Madness a masterpiece at this point, but I will say this in full confidence that uh I'm not a I'm not a braggadocious kind of a dude. I think you've gotten that from us talking. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very hesitant to compliment myself because of, self-doubt or whatever it is that, people deal with. But I will say this, like, the team that was together on Sea of Madness, that 40 plus crew, like, we became family because we were in some of the worst conditions, 18-hour days, eating twice a day, and there no showers for the first 3 days. So that was rough too. Like everybody, like by the end of it, everybody was a financial investor because everybody just opened up their wallets. All right, let's go get some showers. All right, let's go get some more food. All right, let's go get what do we need? What we need to go get to make people comfortable.
So, so was the cast? Were you and the cast sleeping on the ship?
Well, that was the plan, to sleep on the ship, and some people did fall asleep on the ship, but really once we got like a groove going, nobody like really wanted to sleep. It was just like, all right, what's the next scene? What's the next scene? So we all ended up for the most part going and passing out in the war room on air mattresses for that little 4 or 5 hour period that our bodies shut down. And then we'd wake up and we'd eat and we'd, watch some more footage and we'd jump right back on the ship again.
Wow, that's insane, man. That's intense.
Yeah. But like I said, because of how hard the team worked and how knowledgeable and all the toys that were brought that had nothing to do with me or anything like that, it's just people believing in the project and bringing it on. This is hands down, head and shoulders, the best artistic thing that I've ever done in my life. Music, books, other movies, bar none. Like, this is the best artistic thing that I've ever shot or done or worked on.
That's amazing. Now I've watched documentaries on certain horror films, like the recent one I watched was on Curse of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And I've watched numerous, even like talking to indie filmmakers. If you have the wrong team behind you in a movie, it can fuck up the whole entire
Oh, the whole, yeah.
production. And I don't think some filmmakers, big ones, indie ones, don't realize how important it is to have the right team behind you.
Yes. We couldn't have done Sea of Madness with any other people. I think about some of the other options that I had and some of the other people that I could have brought in, and like thinking about the stimulus and the conditions, like, it had to be this group. It had to be these specific people, and it had to be at this point in time in our lives for it to work. It was just a serendipitous thing. And I quoted it a lot. By the luck of fools, we somehow managed to pull it off in the time that we had.
Now, how many packs of cigarettes were you smoking a day?
Well, I do know that I did probably go through, like, I can count to you how many times I ate. I ate 10 times the whole week. I probably had 20 hours of sleep the whole week. And I probably smoked about 10 packs of cigarettes in that week as well.
Wow.
And
imagine the stress, man.
But anytime you had to smoke a cigarette, you couldn't smoke on the ship. You couldn't even smoke on the deck of the ship. And the distance of walking from the ship to the war room was not brief. It was anytime
committed.
something was left in the war room and we were like, we need a runner to go back to the war room. I'm sorry, whoever it is, you're about to get your steps in.
So when did you guys use the bathroom? Was it like multiple bathrooms on the ship?
No, you had to go back to the war room. If
oh, stop, man. That's fucked up, Mitch.
It is. It is. We were wildly inadequately ill prepared for the humans. Like we
I would have been
focused
so
so
pissed.
much on planning the shots and planning the setups that we were like, oh yeah, there's human beings we gotta take care of.
I've been so pissed, Mitch.
But we did. Like I said, that
Yes, yes.
everybody took care of each other. I maxed out a credit card to make sure that everybody had food and like stuff like so. And our DIT, the digital image tech, Chris, him and the first assistant director Jeremy Harrington and his wife Katie, they, you know, the last 3 days they became like the chefs and just were cooking. Instead of just cooking one meal for everybody to eat, they were like getting specific, like, what do you want to eat now? What do you want to eat now? You know, and because some people had different dietaries. Like we had a couple of wrestlers, a couple of pro wrestlers, so they couldn't eat the red meat. They had to eat chicken, you know, so they had to have like 3 or 4 chicken breasts made for them and stuff like that, you know. And one of the main actresses, you know, she was a vegan, so she could only eat certain things that we had to prepare specifically for her, you know. So we made sure to take care of each other, and I think that that was probably the thing that set the crew apart the most because the Louisiana Film Commission found out about us after the first day and started sending volunteers to come and work with us. And our makeup artist, Miss Jeanette, who was apprenticing Sharina Leggett, who is also an open heart makeup artist. She has a lot of years in special effects and makeup, doing a numerous creature features and stuff like that. And even she says, like, Mitch, I've been on, I can't even tell you how many sets I've been on in my life. And this crew and this team is something special because crews don't care about each other and look after each other the way y'all's crew did on this. Like, anytime I ever needed any help, people would drop what they were doing to come and help me. If I said I was hungry, next thing I know, I had 3 or 4 plates of food coming at me, and you know, like I didn't like the manners and the way I took care of each other is something that just doesn't happen on other film sets, and that made me very proud. Like that made me tear up, and that made me get very emotional because I was so proud of all my guys. Because you know, at Open Heart, our number one focus is always the artistic goal. That like above money, above anything else, accomplishing the artistic goal is always the most important thing. But a close second is making sure that we all treat each other like human beings and we care for each other. And because for a lot of these people, they're volunteering their time. That's like we're not paying them what they're worth, you know. Like we're paying everybody this time around. Look, imagine that this is the first time that's
Wow.
ever happened, but we're not paying them a fraction of what they're worth. And if you're not paying people what they're worth, you have to go out of your way to make sure that they feel valued. And I feel like our crew managed to accomplish that. And that's the thing, outside of the quality of the footage, that's the thing that I'm the most proud of about my guys and gals.
So after 6 days of hell, um, and fun as well,
Yeah, it's fun.
did you guys go out? You were like probably like, oh my goodness, have some probably a sigh of relief. Did you guys go out and party or do anything to celebrate?
Uh, we didn't go out, but we did celebrate because the last day of shooting, like I said, we weren't on the USS Kidd anymore. We were on a party boat or a fishing boat over in Mississippi. And our producer, once again, Adam Bass, was talking to this captain of this boat, and through them talking, found out like, oh, I used to pilot this boat for you 8 years ago. Oh yeah, that
Wow.
was you. And so he just gave him the keys and said, here are the keys. Y'all film as long as y'all want. Y'all can sleep on the boat. There's full showers, full kitchen, full bathrooms. There's bunks. There's enough to fit 14 people. So y'all just make yourselves at home, and whenever y'all ready to leave in the morning, give me a call. I'll come get the keys and lock up. So once we finished everything on that last day on the party boat, we all went down to the gas station and picked up, you know, 3 or 4 cases of beer and brought it back. And Chris cooked an amazing pirate feast. We did feel like pirates. We were on this boat. We got a chef down below making a feast. We have a bunch of beer and like rum that we're all just, you know. Now, I am going to be honest. everybody was having a great time. The cast and crew, they were, really letting their hair down. I wasn't in the party mood that night because I was stressed beyond belief. I know for a fact I had two mental breakdowns and a legit panic attack on the fishing boat. I mean, I had two mental breakdowns on the kid and a legit panic attack on the fishing boat. Which I'll tell that story here in a minute. But like, it's not that I wasn't trying to party. I did drink a little bit and and laughed and joked, but for the most part, I just kind of went out on the deck and just chilled and just tried to decompress my mind because the last day I'm still running off of about 17 hours of sleep for the week. So I I was very happy and having a good time, but also a big piece of me was just like, I'm ready to be fucking done with this, guys. I'm ready to be back home.
I bet, man. I bet. So he had a mental breakdown.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I did it quietly, but there was a couple of times where they're like, "Where's Mitch at?" And like, I had to like text. I'm like, "I need a cool 15. Give me 15 minutes. I'm gonna go outside and smoke 5 cigarettes, and just give me a minute." Because as the director, you can't really walk 5 steps without six people coming up to you and asking questions, and they need
Yeah.
answers to those questions right there. And if
Exactly. Right then and there.
and if you don't know the answers to those questions, you need to be able to quickly, within the next 30 seconds, think of an answer to give to them. And that's the director's job, and I knew that that's what I was getting into whenever I decided I want to be a director, because I can handle that. But man, I sure did test my gas tank. I tested it.
I bet, man. I bet. So after finishing this movie, you're going to be releasing probably in about October, Halloween time. Has your brain shut down from future projects, or has your brain automatically jumped in what's next?
Oh man, we've already started talking about what's next. Because the script's already done, and that was one of the things that all the crew was like as soon as we got back. I told it was hilarious because I told everyone on the last day, I was like, guys, we're gonna get back home, and I love all of y'all. Y'all are all my new family. But I don't want any of y'all to reach out to me for the next 48 hours. Like, just, I don't want to hear from anybody. I just want to decompress. And that lasted about 4 hours. And then we were all in the group text again, laughing and joking and like, talking about how much we missed it. And like, all right, so what's the next one? So I passed out the scripts and we're like, all right, so let's go ahead and start. Blah, blah, blah. Like, hold up. We still got one more day of production. Let's focus on that first. And then we can go hog wild on Bog Anthology.
So you just go back to back. You don't take a break off in between projects.
You can't, man. You can't. I'm a new guy. I'm a new cat. I'm up and coming. I'm trying to make a name for myself. You can't afford to take a break yet. You just can't. If you want
Boom,
to
boom, boom.
if you want to remain relevant and you want people to pay attention to your series of movies that you plan on making, you got to produce for them, and people want it. So give it to them.
Nice. Do you want to talk about your next project, or
I can. Yeah, I'm
let's
not
talk about
a
it?
I'm not a no spoilers kind of guy. I freely give out all information and knowledge that I have because that's how you get better. It's like if you want to get better, you share your knowledge and people share their knowledge, and that's how you grow. Um,
Exactly.
but the Bog Anthology is the third movie in the BCU, and it's an anthology, so it's 3 short stories with a tie around story. The tie around story revolves around the Williams family from the Bogman, kind of checking in on them and what they're doing, and each of the things that they do lead into the shorts. The first short is called Bog Manifest, and it's the first time the Bigfoot was ever seen in Mountain Bend, Arkansas in 1887. So it's a period piece. I'm going to direct that one, and I'm going to direct the tie around story, just so that there's consistency of vision on that. The second story is called Face the Music, and it's where we are introducing the evil Jin character for our fourth movie. So we did a little short to introduce him and tell a little bit of backstory about him and his abilities and stuff. But Daniel Stark, my partner, who has been DP for all the other ones, he is going to direct that one. And the third is one that I'm going to be doing a lot of acting in as Richard Brooks from Bogman. Because it's the first story where my character comes back with the documentary crew after being shamed with the Bogman stuff. And since I'm doing all the acting in that, I was like, well, I need to find someone else to direct that, because like it wasn't difficult acting and directing in Bogman because Richard's part was, kind of small in comparison. He didn't really show up until halfway through the movie. But in the third, he's a lot more involved, and I wanted to be able to focus on. So one of the guys that worked on this crew for Sea of Madness, our script supervisor, is a gentleman named Toby Otero, who is an awesome screenplay writer, and he's written a lot of plays and dinner theaters and musicals. And me and him have very similar personalities and very similar sense of humors. And like I noticed on Sea of Madness, as the script supervisor, we'd sit down every day and go over what the plan was. And he always had very similar ideas on how we would accomplish this, and had very similar ideas for jokes that we could put in right here. Cause it's very big. I'm very big on jokes. Like, we can be scary, we can be bloody, we can be gross, but we got to make sure we're still being funny in there,
Yes.
And so I asked him if he would direct that third short, and he said yes, graciously. And so that's where we're at with that right now. We, for the most part, we got all the locations already nailed down. Like there's one place in Shreveport that's like this 1860s town square on the outskirts of it. That's the only place that we haven't like for sure locked down yet. But I mean, I'm not worried about it. It's plenty of time to do that. We don't plan on starting to film that one until summer of 2025. So plenty of time.
And by the way, if you're in Louisiana, I would like to have a role in one of your future films. So next time I'm in Louisiana, if it lines up, I will contact you.
Say that again, buddy. You started.
I said in one of your future films, if I'm in Louisiana, I will love a role in one of your films.
Dude, I already know what I would get you to play. I already know. You want to know? You want to hear it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yep.
So we got a running joke that's going to be in all of the movies. And I, like I said, I'm not worried about spoiling the joke, because if you know about the joke, you'll look out for it. Do you remember that movie, This Is Spinal Tap?
Yes.
Do you remember how like all the drummers for that band just kept dying all the time?
Mm-hmm.
We're having a similar situation with all the producers in the movies. Every time the documentary crew shows up and they have a new producer, the producer is going to die some terrible way.
I would love that, man. I'm telling you, I would love to be killed in a horror movie.
I would love to kill you in a horror movie.
Oh man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
You might have to just plan to come down here for it.
Yes. Now, where in Louisiana are you? How far are you from New Orleans?
4 hours.
So you're near like Baton Rouge?
No, I am in the northeast corner in Monroe, Louisiana, on the I-20 corridor.
I don't know what the hell that's at, but okay.
It's over in the corner near Mississippi. We're like an hour.
Okay. All right, so I'll have to fly into Jackson, Mississippi.
Well, no, we have an airport.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we have the Monroe Regional Airport. You can fly right on in.
All right, sweet. So yeah, let's go ahead and plan that.
I got you, my dude. What you do in 2026?
I don't know what I'm doing in 2025, but I'm hoping I'm still alive in 2026. And I will be there in 2026.
2026, I'll have you come and be in the honey hole.
All right, that sounds good. I don't even know what the fuck Honey Hole is, but that sounds like an interesting title.
You ever seen Stephen King's Thinner?
Yes, loved it.
It's a mixture of Stephen King's Thinner and Wishmasters.
Oh, okay. Yep, I'll be there. 2026, if I'm still alive.
If we're
Uh,
still,
yes.
if
So
I
what?
haven't had a heart attack from all this.
I'm shocked. I haven't had a hard time. I'm telling you, my schedule is. If you believe my schedule is as crazy as yours. Like I don't. I get very little fucking sleep, and ever since I started doing this fucking YouTube channel, which I absolutely love,
Yeah.
but it gives me very little free time to do anything.
I mean, in my day job, I'm an editor for TV, and I go to work at 2 a.m. I work 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then I go to the local radio station and DJ there for another 2 hours, and then come home in time to chillax for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Before I have to
Yep.
get
Yep.
my son off and then be dad.
See, me, what happens is I work a full time job. So I work, 8 to 6, then come home, dinner, relax. And then I jump on my first interview is usually somewhere between 8 and 8:30. And I run all the way till 11 o'clock at night. Then after I finish my last interview, I'm editing, I'm promoting, I'm doing all this other bullshit that goes along with doing it. It's a lot, but it's
Literally,
fun.
before I jumped on here, the DIT tech came over to the house and dropped off the footage for the first 11 scenes of the movie on a hard drive for me. So literally before I got on here, I was on the editing machine reviewing the footage and labeling my shots so I can get in there and start working on the first scene as soon as I'm done.
Listen, I was literally editing a video right before I got to the interview. I was like,
The work,
I'm gonna see if I can get this in.
no,
Oh man, listen, no rest for winners, right?
no rest
There's
for
no
winning.
time for rest.
Nope.
There's none. None.
Because if you,
Mitch,
it's
where? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
like a shark, man. If you stop moving forward, you die.
Keep going, man. Just keep going, pushing it through, man. All right. So, Mitch, where can everyone find you, brother?
You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. You can check out the Bogman's website. I mean, the Bogman Facebook page, the Sea of Madness Facebook page. We got some IMDb pages if you want to keep track with those for them. Of course, Bogman is out now. It's on, of course, YouTube. It's on the Folsom app, the TLC app. We did find out why we had to why it's not out on Tubi and Amazon and Pluto TV yet. It is about to be out on those very soon. We had to cut all of the fake beer ads and previews before the movie. So now we know not to put those in the Sea of Madness.
Mitch, listen, man, it's absolutely. By the way, how are you good at horror movie trivia?
It depends on the years. Like if you're asking me questions from like 75 to 2005, I'm all right. I'm pretty good. But if you start asking me stuff after 2005,
All right. Well, I'm gonna have a in the spring. I'm gonna have a horror movie trivia game that's gonna be on my show. So I'm gonna have filmmakers competing to see who is the biggest horror fan, and
all
I would
right.
love to have you on as a contestant.
I would love it. Consider me there. I'm down.
Perfect. Listen, everybody, go out there and check out fucking Bogman. It is a fun ride. If you like B movies, creature features, it is a fun time. Also, look out for See It Madness coming out in sometime in October. Mitch, once again, buddy, thanks for coming on to the Hard Room.
Thanks for having me. Anytime you want me, brother.
Anytime, man. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming on to the Horror Room. I'm
I won't
Travis Bruce.
I won't charge you $10,000.
By the way, okay, so the $10,000 reference was there's actually people who do what I fucking do, and they charge indie filmmakers $10,000, right? And I was like, fuck, with the amount of interviews I do in a week, I would be a fucking. I'm just calculating. I'm like, Fuck, I
I
could be a
can
millionaire.
fucking short for $10,000. I shot Bogman for less than
$10,000?
$10,000.
Fuck, I would. Maybe I should start charging $500. What do you think, Mitch? No, I'm joking.
As long as I get that ground floor discount.
Listen, you've been on multiple times. You get that 50% discount, okay?
50. All right, thank you. All right, you're too kind.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Boom. That was good, man.
Yeah,
As
easy as
always.
butter. If butter was easy.